Hey everyone, happy Fresh Bottle Friday. We are coming to you here from the back room at the Western Wisconsin Whiskey Emporium because we just actually got off a live stream and we've got an emergency, urgent review for you today. This actually came heavily requested from some people in the live stream on Saturday night, and that is the two new offerings from Redwood Empire. You have your Rocket Top Rye and your Grizzly Beast Bourbon. They're both bottled in bond, and they are both actually Redwood Empire's own distillate. I'm interested to see how this goes because we love the core line of Redwood Empire. Those are all sourced. Redwood Empire branding looks great. This one with a sick-ass bear on it. And then your Rocket Top, just a sweet tree with some moon looking down on it. Bottled in bond, so both of these are at 100 proof. Distilling season spring of 2016, bottling summer of 2021. So we're at 5 years there. Lot size of 26 barrels, batch 1. Mash bill on this bourbon, 69% corn, 22% rye, 5% malted barley, 4% wheat. It's a 4-grain.
Now for the Rocket Top Rye, same first facts as you were saying. 87% rye, 7% malted barley, 6% wheat.
I'm excited for these. I think we jump right in.
Good pops all around. Well, what do you think? Do we go with bourbon or do we go with rye first?
A is bourbon, I guess.
Naturally.
We're starting with rye. Well, that smells good.
My initial impression was kind of like reminiscent of like those bubblegum notes we pick up on some of the Maker's products.
This is going to sound really weird, and I don't mean it in a negative way. It kind of smells like dish soap.
I could see that. Like you're talking dish soap in the sink.
Yep.
With
hot
water coming
bubbly
in.
situation. Yeah.
I could maybe see where you're coming from.
How it kind of fills the room, and it's a good smell. It's not a bad smell. I'm not saying like it's going to taste like soap, but you know, that like scented dish soap thing.
What I got initially was like a bubble gum up front.
Yeah.
When you go work your way in, you're getting kind of that dish soap. And then on the tail end, that rye finally catches up, I think.
Lighter and fruitier side to me. Not as spicy as I would expect. Really kind of in line with Emerald Giant's profile. I'd have to assume maybe that's something they were aiming for.
I would think so.
You know, to keep kind of consistency with their ryes that they're putting out. Because it is reminiscent of that, even though it's not the same distillate in it.
All right, let's clink them and drink them. Wow, that is complex. That almost requires going back to again.
It just keeps going. It just keeps going. Like you think it's one thing, and then it's like a roller coaster. Like so the ride that I went on with that up front, sweet, and then moved into a bit of that rye spice, but then went into like almost a citrus fruity direction, and then came back with the heat, and then it's ending on like juicy fruit gum.
There's some spiciness there. Like where you went juicy fruit gum, I got that Trident gum, you know what I'm talking about? It's an orange label. And it's like the tropical fruit with the, it's like orange and pineapple and like mango or something. It's got that thing going on.
Yeah, but it comes through like at different times. Like to me, the last thing I get is gum. Like just that plain juicy fruit gum. But there is like a fruity shot like right before that.
Yeah.
Like
tropical fruits.
It goes on a journey like as you're going through it.
This is like really good. Going back to crushable, like Emerald Giant was. It feels a little bit thicker than Emerald Giant, but it drinks even better.
Yeah. Like I'm struggling to not just pound this right now.
Yeah, no, I'm already like wanting to.
Yeah.
I'm wanting to go back for seconds.
It makes you want to go back for more. It takes you on a ride. I think 100% winner. Let's get in on the nose on the Grizzly Beast. Cinnamon. A lot of cinnamon is what I'm catching. Like a cinnamon butter.
I think it's too sharp to be considered like a butter. Like,
well, no, there's a buttery note, but it's more like a brown butter, not like a sweet butter, more of like a nutty brown butter kind of thing. But cinnamon is like my prevailing note.
I could maybe see some like black cherries or something, you know, faintly in the back.
Maybe even a blackberry. This is coming through Christmassy to me.
I could see that.
You know, that cinnamon and then dark fruits. You're thinking Christmas pie kind of thing, or you know,
Yeah.
it is this is feeling very Christmassy with a name like Grizzly Beast. I mean, I know that all their bottles are named after different redwoods, so the Grizzly Beast is a tree. That name, I feel like, is not an accident. I feel like they're looking at bringing you something pretty potent.
Blink him and drink him. That is different. And I think that kind of has to do with that 4-grain mash bill in a way, because like the tail end of it is reminiscent of like a maker's product. It's got kind of that like almost bubblegummy finish.
It's like Big Red gum. Yeah, both these are pretty gummy.
There's a lot of like cinnamon elements to it though. Not a lot of like nuttiness, not even a lot of bitterness. It's like on the sweeter side of things, and I think that's kind of throwing me for the loop. Very, very sippable, easy to crush.
This does have more of a noticeable alcohol burn than the rye, for sure. Even though they sit at the same proof. The front of the tongue tingle is very present in this. That lends itself really nicely to that sweet cinnamon. It's almost like Red Hots or hot tamales or something. Yeah. Again, I will say, even in the texture, a little buttery kind of texture that really fills up your whole palate. Christmassy. Like the nose is carrying through here.
I kind of agree with the Christmas statement. There is a bit of a bitterness on the tail end that the rye didn't have. In a way, to me, seems more of like a one-trick pony in a way. Very cinnamon sweet, kind of sugary, and not like even brown sugar like you would expect in a bourbon. You're not really getting as much corn or things like that. It's kind of like, in a way, like a super smooth, refined, what Fireball wishes it could aspire to be. You know?
That's funny you said that, because that's exactly what I was thinking. Like, this is like if Fireball was like a real thing that they put effort into.
Yeah.
It would taste like this. It's really good. Christmas cookies with the little like cinnamon red hot guys on them, you know? Mm-hmm. Like that's what it's hitting. That super sweet sugar cookie with the cinnamon.
Yeah, absolutely. Maybe a little nutmeg. There's like this strange bitter note at the very end.
Well, that bitterness in the back end to me is almost like raw cinnamon. Like Cinnamon Challenge. I would definitely buy both of these again. You've only got money for one of them and they're both on the shelf. Which one do you take?
That is a tough one.
Yeah.
I feel like naturally I'm more inclined to just gravitate towards bourbon.
Right.
But in this particular scenario, I think that tropical fruit and the smoothness and lightness and just drinkability, the smashability of the Rocket Top Rye makes me think that that is what I would go with.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think the Rocket Top Rye is superior to the Grizzly Beast, but both are fantastic.
For different reasons.
Like different ends of the spectrum.
Yeah.
Flavor-wise, completely. I'm going to make a...
Blenderoo,
our own lost monarch here, the found monarch. Well, that slaps. That's good.
Yeah, no, it really is. They really blend together very well.
Wow, they really do. Because you get all that sweetness here up front, and then the fruitiness comes through from the rye. The cinnamon swings back around and marries up with that gum note that we were talking in the finish here. This is so good. If I see these on the shelf and I got the cash, I might just be buying each of them and doing that and making a 50-50 blend in a bottle. So that's our review on the two newest Redwood Empires, the Rocket Top Rye, Grizzly Beast. Both of them fantastic bottles and really kick ass when you blend them together. I'd say if you see these on your local shelves, pick them up. Have you out there had either of these bottles or both? If you did you blend them together? And if you have both bottles and you haven't done that, blend them together and let us know in the comments what you think of it. And if you haven't yet, hit like on the video and subscribe to the channel, because that helps us spread the word and get the word out about all the things we are doing here every week.
From the Western Wisconsin Whiskey Emporium for ladies and gentlemen, thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next Wednesday.